on New Year's Eve keeps me off the highway. Seeing drunk drivers crash landing in a ditch, the way it shines, he just some D's on that itch. 1,000 a pop, plus the tree tore up the rag top, not for his life but for the car. I saw this fag drop to his knees praying. Blacks have messed up priorities. 34 plus years old, telling you to singing on keys, telling women to drop it like garbage on the corner, or shake it like salt and pepper, but you're in church tomorrow. Praying to white Jesus, your breath smells like gin Seagrams. You're bathing in cause he died for your sins. If Jesus is the truth, why does he have a Greek name? I'm asking you, why does the Pope wear a Jewish yarmulke? Things sound strange, this world is messed up. In diamonds and 2 earrings, black men are dressed up, walking on the ancestors' blood and say it's a red carpet. Come around here playing your big and become a target. I bring it back to those days when we would threaten DJs, saying they're pro-Toronto but not giving no airplay, unless you're a rude boy speaking in Bacardi slang. No matter how much you email, they reply hardly, man. On November 06, I received an email about 2 months backlog. They did receive my tracks, but it shouldn't take that long. It's not 2-7, I haven't heard crime, but I heard Pretty Ricky talk sex about 50 times. I heard booty 20 plus times, rims and censorships on every track. These slaves talk about so much whips. Who wants to be a blood, a sellout, or a crip? Sign the dotted line when you rhyme so you can rep that shit. That's what they tell you, to hell they'll send you. Dumb black energy is on the devil's menu, cause you think it's physical but it's all spiritual. No snow till January, cramp off with rituals. Shines with Khalid Muhammad holding the AK. You would think I'm coming clean when my mind spray. If you wanted to be with thought power, I say, with eyes closed in meditation, abracadabra or ashe. It's been years since I've been to a party. Drunk off chartreuse or coke with Bacardi. Speaking to bosses and slurs, tripping over my words, calling girls chicken but still flip cops the bird. Stumbling around this concrete jungle, no more time, I took an oath and swore to be humble. Hey yo, I got them sick thoughts to make you rise drastically. I got them high thoughts to make you rise drastically. I got them sick thoughts to make you rise drastically. I got them high thoughts to make you rise drastically. Hey yo, we bust the vortex like concrete to boots vortex. Listening to Flow 93.5 just gets me more vexed, but it's something I must deal with, like slavery and whites, raping the black woman and man in the day all night, stomping on babies to grape juice, mentally they rape you today. It wasn't physical so far back in the day, that was only 500 plus years ago. Mark-kishon and not Zulu like Mutua Credo. Scarborough, reppin' Scarborough since Tobago. Call me Negro and I turn charger from San Diego. No matter what your name is, you could be nameless. When you know your melanin self, our time is ageless. Our spiritual self is shapeless, but on the shelf, you got some hook nose like God outside of yourself. So-called or proclaimed by Nissi and bitch-ups. I'll get on armed soldiers or warfield marshals and councils of bishops. Enough, that's just the side of us that'll make you hiccup. Just like unsophisticated of driving us behind trucks hiccup. When I show slave pictures, stomach acid, they're gonna spit up. Make the devil drop to his knees and the God lift up. Hey yo, I got them sick thoughts to make you rise drastically. I got them high thoughts to make you rise drastically. I got them sick thoughts to make you rise drastically. I got them high thoughts to make you rise drastically.
Anonymous. Woo! Take notice. Our house, yeah, Moor. Nips. Take notice. Anybody listening? I'm uplifting, I'm not belittling. Your emotions win. Offended by my whispering. Pride in the lion's den. Surrounded by my rocky men. Black mamba. Anonymous. Woo! Take notice. Our house, yeah, Moor. Nips. Take notice. Anybody listening? I'm uplifting, I'm not belittling. Your emotions win. Offended by my whispering. Pride in the lion's den. Surrounded by my rocky men. Black mamba with a pen. Every line to write, I'm losing friends again. Rooted in love, hunted hate step. Exotic doctrines, forgotten men. Woo! Back in history books. Take notice. come and take a look. Ain't no half stepping, ain't no halfway crook. You're halfway on the page, I finished the book. Take notice, rhyming in circles within these squares. Triangles up and X appears. Short here, I don't care. Stay natural, I appear. Walking on land, feeding like air. Take notice, babes, come here. She said a jealous friend is your worst enemy. They Judas me a long time before Brutus befriended me. Take notice, Drew Ali laid a foundation. A store refused by a builder is his own destruction. Dysfunction, cause he's so color function. And anything after black is a fiction. Be a victim, not a victim. You make it hard to listen, but I'm here to uplift it. Take notice, you're more than the sky's limit. You're a star, just live it. They're gonna get you. Tell me mama said it. Said they killed him before COVID. Along with 100 other realistic. Take notice. A finger on my child, I lose it. And for that finger, you lose it. Tie you to a pole and stone you for amusement. Speaking about amusement. Take notice. More's that I focus. Change with the knowledge. Move with a purpose. So if you call me a clown, then Morocco is a circus. Take notice, offer and acceptance. You signed a contract when it triggered your emotions. Take notice, Drew changed my life. And you compare the prophet to polite. Cause you don't know the magnitude, you can't see the light. You sell out the movement for a bag of rice. Take notice, we agree to practice love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. 5 principles, 5 titles, with focus. Article 50, that's where your hope is. The Great Seal, now you see what my point is. Take notice, taxis, new access. They shoot situation instead of bullets. The public can't comprehend the weapon silent. King Alfred, read it. Take notice, the sure or de facto. Imperial persona or a Negro. Shadow, stunt double. Natural people, the world's in trouble. Nationalities, the order of the day. L's and B's. Indigenous everywhere, even in caves. Take notice, thoughts on the mind, there's no limits. And I'm created in the image. So you can't bound the most high with human concepts. So you can't bound X with all that gossip. I exist, break all illusions with an iron fist. Take notice, on God like self. More books, more shelves, more bush for the memory cells. LOL, you're lower as hell. You blame it on the devil, don't lower yourself. What more can I do? You in denial and won't drink too. I'm pulling files just to see who's who. I wanna bet and show you temples and move. Secret symbols looking like you. I notice. You're back asking the same question. That's how I know you didn't pay attention. Take notice. Dilla. Got fun. I had fun. Salute. Woo. North Star. H12.
Common sense was made before book sense. Canaanland Moor presents Common Sense Quick.
Legendary, bury me in the North Gates Cemetery, February the 4th days. Son of Mary, day ahead of my born day. Independence and law makes civil of a lost case. With case laws, we break them down like Jericho. Keeping all my lions tamed, I'm Chris Jericho. Or keep a mask on deck, I'm Rey Mysterio. Fake pandemics announced over the radio. Annoyed with the game, the joys and the pains. I'm Rob Bass, mix it with rock the hard way. I was in a lost state. Prophets told me up right, brought me to a lost gate.
Woo! We go again. One more for the road. For all the haters.
Common sense was made before book sense. Canaanland Moor presents Common Sense Quick.
Legendary, bury me in the North Gates Cemetery, February the 4th days. Son of Mary, day ahead of my born day. Independence and law makes civil of a lost case. With case laws, we break them down like Jericho. Keeping all my lions tamed, I'm Chris Jericho. Or keep a mask on deck, I'm Rey Mysterio. Fake pandemics announced over the radio. Annoyed with the game, the joys and the pains. I'm Rob Bass, mix it with rock the hard way. I was in a lost state. Prophets told me up up right, brought me to a lost gate. Cooking like I'm Sorbet, rapping like I'm Denzel. Malcolm X, deja vu, Roman J. Israel. Had no but I lay in plain sight, but people still can't see it, so the snake's still showing up. The stakes still high, so the race still going up. Warriors of the North Gate, we not slowing up. Born in the manger, sworn to be savior. Walk through the valley of the shadows of the death dip in slavery. Looking for life, the book of Genesis. Astral plane entrances, invoke the nemesis. Abstract images of past lives kicking in. Danger, running for your life, finishing.
Moor, key man or oracle, using Trinity powers, decipher allegorical, lost in metaphorical, holy books are metaphysic, facts slap a dirty Moor or a Drew Ali critic, calling him Thomas or Walter and get your face caved, or cut like a close shave, drowned in my brain waves, squashed by heat waves, activating Kundalini, Abyssinia invaded by Mussolini, Selassie I in exile, reptile in Genesis, niggas appearing real, all I see is false evidence, VAR feminists, stomped on by elephants, more like no prejudice but want Moorish benefits, when you feel the cold magnetic resonance, Apis horns of the sacred book all maleficent, great cosmic mothers, return to blessedness, no pestilence, ace all the testaments, tap into remembrance, never to forget again, use energy right, not put spell effects on men, wandering the earth plane but no they live shades, keeps you a mental slave as the horizon fades, it's been decades since Christian crusades, not enough rebellions, too many vigil bouquets, holding on to the fence, burning on doomsday, war ruled by Mars, it might be on a Tuesday.
Canaanland Moors presents Common Sense Quick. What we do here is we add some common sense thinking to everyday situations or comments that may arise. Want to give it a try?
Hi folks, this is to introduce the third week of my webinar, which will be what is a live life claim, how to create one. At the moment, the entire bureaucracy that runs around you treats you in a pseudonym or a handle.
Oh, I didn't even see you, Moor. We got you. We got you, Moor. Don't worry.
Common sense was made before book sense. Canaanland Moors presents Common Sense Quick.
Legendary, bury me in the North Gate Cemetery, February the 4th days. Son of Mary, day ahead of my born day. Independence and law makes it a little of a lost case. With case laws, we break them down like Jericho. Keeping all my lions tamed, I'm Chris Jericho. I'll keep a mask on deck, I'm Rey Mysterio. Fake pandemics announced over the radio. Annoyed with the game, the joys and the pains. I'm Rob Bass, mixing with rock the hard way. I was in a lost state. Prophets told me up right, brought me to a lost gate. Cooking like I'm Sorbet, rapping like I'm Denzel. Malcolm X, deja vu, Roman J. Israel. Had no but I lay in plain sight, but people still can't see it, so the snake's still showing up. The stakes still high, so the race still going up. Warriors of the North Gate, we not slowing up. Born in the manger, sworn to be savior. Walk through the valley of the shadows of the death dip in slavery. Looking for life, the book of Genesis. Astral plane entrances, invoke the nemesis. Abstract images of past lives kicking in. Danger, running for your life, finishing.
Moor, key man or oracle, using Trinity powers, decipher allegorical, lost in metaphorical, holy books are metaphysic, facts slap a dirty Moor or a Drew Ali critic, calling him Thomas or Walter and get your face caved, or cut like a close shave, drowned in my brain waves, squashed by heat waves, activating Kundalini, Abyssinia invaded by Mussolini, Selassie I in exile, reptile in Genesis, niggas appearing real, all I see is false evidence, VAR feminists, stomped on by elephants, more like no prejudice but want Moorish benefits, when you feel the cold magnetic resonance, Apis horns of the sacred book all maleficent, great cosmic mothers, return to blessedness, no pestilence, ace all the testaments, tap into remembrance, never to forget again, use energy right, not put spell effects on men, wandering the earth plane but no they live shades, keeps you a mental slave as the horizon fades, it's been decades since Christian crusades, not enough rebellions, too many vigil bouquets, holding on to the fence, burning on doomsday, war ruled by Mars, it might be on a Tuesday.
Canaanland Moors presents Common Sense Quick. What we do here is we add some common sense thinking to everyday situations or comments that may arise. Want to give it a try?
Hellfire. ConwayStevens@gmail.com. Send your email, get your sent to you. Hellfire. It's one of the most nuts ones out there right now. Going off. Nuts. Cashews, peanuts, pistachios, everything.
What is the Live Life Claim? How to create one. At the moment, the entire What is the Live Life Claim? How to create webinar, which will be what is the third week of my webinar, which will be what is the Live Life Claim? How to create one. At the moment, the entire bureaucracy that runs around you treats you in a pseudonym or a handle or a pen name, which are all under nom-de-guerre, which means you're usually a dead horse, or you're under some sort of Sesquiu trust that you are lost at sea or dead, declared dead, and therefore you are under some sort of trust relationship. When you have a claim of the life, you are now telling yourself and the world that wants to contract with you and that you're not lost and dead at sea. Okay.
You're a liar. He's a liar. Now check this out. Check this out. Check this out. Do Moors really intend to go through with this? To go to the local, state, foreign government to authenticate themselves against a void ab initio birth certificate receipt, which is proof of human trafficking and genocide violations? Just because it was created does not mean it is binding. And it certainly is not a lawfully binding contract, as it is not a contract at all. But they got a webinar. They got a webinar telling you you need a live birth record of you're an adult. Are you lost at sea? You have lost at sea thinking, some of you people. Some people not thinking like you're on the land. You're thinking you're in the middle of the ocean somewhere. Maybe you're the one that's dead at sea. Because it's a void ab initio instrument. Has nothing to do with you. And if you do have something, let's just say you want to have a live birth, whatever, right? Then when you have your heir, you're going to go to the temple. You're going to get your record of live birth. Because I thought you're the government. Who's the government? These people over here giving you birth certificates? Or are you Aboriginal, Indigenous self-determination and all that stuff? A live birth record is for minors. No, you're adult. Well, you need a live birth record and all this stuff. Well, you go in a webinar. How do you make a live birth record as an adult to prove that I'm not the corporate fiction, I'm actually a living being and all this BS? What's your nationality? What's your nationality? Oh, German? Germany's over there. What's your nationality? Oh, you're American? I don't think you're American. I think you're lying. You look like a modern European. What's your nationality?
What's your grandma's nationality? What's your great-great-grandma's nationality? How about that one? We have our own stuff that we're supposed to do. We're not supposed to be looking to these people. You're Moor, you're on a birth record. You're supposed to go to your temple and go get it. It's already there, sitting there. You ain't got to do anything. All you got to do is fill out the stuff. That's it. Put the footprint and the handprint on it, witness it, and then you have your stuff. Why are you making this thing complicated like this is some seminar stuff? There's not no secret information in the Moor science adept chamber or pulling out for the live or whatever. This stuff been around. Moor's been using this. Moor's been had this. Oh, but you know, because you're out to lunch, you'll know what's going on with Moors who are active. Moors who are active, they got a right to self-determination. They're going to do what they're supposed to do for them, their family, and then whatever else happens after that, then that happens after that. Moors are good at that. Doing for self and kind. And as a mother too, said, all right, temple needs a record of live birth because, you know, there's going to be children. All right. There it is, and they ask for it. Because it's your stuff. This is a Grand Sheik telling you, this is your stuff. These people have been playing games with you, with Supreme Grand Councils and all the other BS. Don't want you to be your own government. Is American a nationality? And can you explain? Please, give thanks. America is a continent. So American is a misnomer. No, nobody that's American. You could be domiciled on the American continents, but the individual, right? Moors are Moroccans. Moors aren't Moroccan American. Moors in America are that, but Moors aren't that. Brazilian American. Why? Because Brazil's in America. Well, how come they never tell you Canadian American? How come they never go there? You ever hear somebody from here be called a Canadian American? How come? How come they don't call them Canadian Americans? But everybody else gets American put on them. And how come right under that, they're telling you United States, and those people aren't United Statesian. They're American. But America's not a country. So people can't come from America. People can't come from America because people come from countries. They don't come from continents. So there can't be an American. There can be a North America, it's a geographical location, South America, Central America, Americana, or the islands. But the people, they're Moors. They got dark skin. If they have dark skin, guess what? They're Moors. And as a Moor, you're supposed to go get your own record of live birth so that your heirs can be counted. And again, the only reason why there's African culture in Brazil is because it's one people. There ain't anybody coming over here on a ship and all that stuff. It's one people. Why is there African stuff in Brazil? Because it's one people. You know, slavery did that. These people have been sharing each other's culture for millennia. Don't be surprised. Let me say Moorish American is because we're in the Americas. Like Brazilian Americans because they're in the Americas. Because you might get some people from over here and over there confused because they're the same people. And Brazilians say they speak languages from over there. Isn't there ancient connection between the languages over here in the Americas and the languages over there in Asia and so-called Africa? It's like if you go over there, you're not going to hear somebody saying they're African. Right? There's an Africa, they say, but there's no African, because that's too vast. I mean, you're African. Your language is relative to Congolese. Oh. Does religion determine your nationality? Nationality means you belong to a nation. Nation is going to have certain things that go with it. It's just what it is. There's nothing to debate or argue about. Majority of nations have some type of creed or religion that they follow. But the creed or religion that they follow isn't going to be something in the open unless you see them doing rituals. Right? Just like the favorite food from that culture. That someone says, yeah, this is my best meal. I love this one. I'm going to cook this one all the time. That's their culture. Right? That's something from their culture. That culture is tied to a nation. The language is tied to a nation. So religion is tied to the nation. And religion is for the nation to keep itself aligned, to keep itself within the bounds of righteousness so it doesn't stray off into doing BS. But you see, majority of the nations are doing BS because what? They're not following their creed, following somebody else's thing. So when we say we're a nation, that includes us having a religion. The Noble Drew Ali brought different levels because some people weren't going to get this right away. Some people, their brain's going to turn to water when they get this. And some people are going to get this and they're going to start being their ancient foremothers and forefathers returned. Have people messed up when they see Moors. The Moors are back. Have them messed up. And then when they have a conversation with a Moor, and what do they always say? They always say, how come your people don't think like you? Ask any Moor who talk to anybody who's not Negro, black, colored. Talk to anyone that's not misclassified, and that Moor will tell you that the world knows what the Moors talk about is where it's at. The world knows. The only people that don't know is our people. And the only reason our people don't know is because they're listening to people who are not about unity, who are about tearing up the family because of emotional BS, opposed to dealing with the facts. Right? Why not deal with the facts? And again, Moor's been at it. Right? Allodial Aboriginal birth record. Right? Girl, boy, freehold by birthrights, primogeniture and inheritance. Mom, father, vaccine exempt, Declaration of the Rights of a Child, Declaration of Rights of Indigenous People, witness, and you go about your business. Not some rocket science. They're making this rocket science. You have to be it, though, for it to be something. It's not going to be something without you being it. You have to be it. When you declare, be clear to yourself and proclaim your nationality. Those colorable documents are void and ex rel in the lawful position, equating with the prophet's instruction of not getting rid of it, as it is proof of human trafficking and genocide of the people. So how the people look at it, right? How the people look at it, that there's these colorable instruments, and these instruments put us into debt and bond servitude, and then because of that, the Queen is getting 85 billion, and the Postmaster General is there, and then we got to talk to the guys over here because they're there, and then the Department of State send them a UCC, whatever. And when you declare, be yourself, and proclaim your nationality, those colorable documents are void and ex rel in a lawful position. Right? So, and you could look this up in the dictionary of law, any one of them, and it's going to tell you this. Ex rel is so the individual who's making the claim can speak on subject matter, can speak on territory, can speak on personam jurisdiction. Because the being in propria persona is ex rel to that all capital letters named on the birth certificate with the bond number and the whatever like that. Authenticate the and all that type of talk. You know, birth certificate, the fraudulent instrument, the void instrument. Okay, that isn't me. I have information relative to that, but that's not me. That's ex rel to me. You don't need a UCC for that. That's knowledge. You don't need live birth for that. That's knowledge. That's with your studying, in your studying. You are going to come to certain realizations based on your studying. That's for you, for your evolution. There's not anybody's sojourn but your own. And once you're within the bounds of righteousness, everything should go according to how the stars map it out. That's going to go. Because you can look down 20 years from now and know what the hell's going to be up. Because it's repetition. It's cycles. It's always going to come back around. What goes around? And bring up Grand Pooba and all that stuff. Start jamming. 360 degrees. So don't be fooled with these peoples and their webinars and all this about some instrument. And then the instrument is what's going to free you from whatever. Whether it's power of attorney instrument. Oh yeah, you need that. Because, see, they claim power of attorney. And then because you didn't refute the claim, now they have superior jurisdiction. And no, they don't. I'm Moorish American. This is my land. What are you talking about? Now, you're a foreigner in my land. How are they making a claim? You notice they always say that they're natural person and free man on the land and all this stuff. They never say their nationality. We're talking about the ones who know that, you know, these corpses are not governments or whatever like that, and they're trying to get out of the stuff, off the grid and all that stuff. You know? Those ones. How come they don't just go back to Europe? How come that's not an option? How come they don't just say, oh, let's just go back to Europe? Why not? What's the problem? Oh, they can't go back to Europe because there's too many of our people playing Negro, black, colored, and traitor. Which has given these people the authority to be here because certain people want to play games. Instead of just getting down with the real. Stop playing games. You already know what's up. You already know what's up. High treason. High treason. High treason. RVBaypublications.com, where they always hate on. They always hate. They never want to give honors to RVBaypublications.com. We're riding it till the wheels fall off. We're riding it on the axle. We're riding it on the frame. We don't care. That's foundation. That's the Moorish Online University forever. Forever it's that. Forever it's that. Anybody talking crazy about, no, Noble Drew Ali said that you're Buddhist, so you have to listen to what the Buddha said because the Buddha is the one that brought the hell out of here. When these people play that BS with you. What Drew Ali tell these Moors? Where is it? They like to pull out our authority and all this stuff. How come you don't read the additional laws? Let me read the additional laws. Let me read the additional laws. How about Act 5 of the additional laws? All the Noble Drew Ali Supreme Grand Council people. All members must promptly attend their meetings and send their children to Sunday school, and the teacher must confirm himself to the questionnaire, and let every member exercise his 5 senses who is able to do so, because from your Sunday school comes the guiders of the nation. How about that? How about that? Right. Oh, you want to play? Oh, yeah. Act 7. All members must promptly attend their meetings and become a part and parcel of all uplifting acts of the Moor Science Temple of America. Members must pay their dues and keep in line with all necessities of the Moor Science Temple of America. Then you are entitled to the name of faithful. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Husbands, all the more husbands out there who are playing the next line, wife, you must obey your husbands. Just remember, husband, that you must support your wife and children. So don't tell me about any BS about, your children, your boys playing video games in the back, right? And he's doing all types of BS in the back. And you're not about any BS either. Talking about your Moors. Right? Talk about wife must obey because Act 7 said, wife, you must obey your husband. He also told her, take care of your children and look after the duties of the household. Why? Because husband, you're the one supposed to be doing that. You're the one supposed to be supporting the wife and the children. If you were supporting the wife and the children, she wouldn't have to take care of your children and look after the duties of the household. Mr. Obey me, patriarch coming into Moor Science Temple, trying to make this some patriarchy. The only way she's going to obey is if he's supporting the wife and children. And we have enough records to show that he doesn't support her wife or children. She ain't obeying him. Stop the BS. Why is she obeying him if he's not doing his part? You just want your way. Oh, well, it says, wife, you must obey your husband. And then you just stop right there. How about sons and daughters must obey father and mother? How about that part? You're not talking about that obey. How come you're not talking about the obey where sons and daughters must obey father and mother? No, the Act 7 period. You said Act 7 and you keep going to a line instead of going to the whole thing where husband must support his wife and children. Not just the wife only, not just children only. That's what his duty is. Support your wife and children. And if you think you could have 2, 4, 5, 8 wives or whatever, then just support all of them too. Wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children and look after the duties of your household. She's only doing that, obeying you, husband, if you're supporting your wife and your children. This stuff is not advanced. It's basic. 4 pages. What more you want? Right? What more you want? All civilized, again, this is rvbaypublications.com. All civilized Aboriginal and Indigenous natural peoples, civically and nationally conscious Moors of Northwest Amexem, North America, are vividly aware that the alien occupational Europeans thrive off the virtues, the suffering, the enslavement, and the energies of the true heirs to the land. We know you missed that one. We'll go again. We'll go again with that one because I know you missed it. All civilized Aboriginal and indigenous natural people, civically and nationally conscious Moors of Northwest Amexem, North America, are vividly aware that the alien occupational Europeans thrive off the virtues, the suffering, the enslavement and the energies of the true heirs of the land. So in the past, probably 2 weeks, about 4 mothers, almost at the same time, brought up how they see that the women are using the term queen more. Now, it seems like more now than ever before they're using this term queen, not knowing the etymology of it. Like, almost all at the same time. And then when you present it to them that queen is a prostitute, don't call yourself that, they got some reasoning behind why they're going to excuse it. Just like with among the people who are supposed to be conscious, they're calling children kids. These are the conscious people saying kids. So it talks about they thrive off the energies of the heirs of the land. That's what they're doing. Off of the people's ignorance in false idols, the people project that energy to those idols that aren't there, and then they get the energies. And remember, they're getting the energies off the true heirs of the land. They're not getting the energies off of, people who don't know. They're getting the energy off people who know, but they don't know that they're giving their energy away. So they're going to call themselves queen and call their children kids. These facts are not under any condition debatable. No doubt, the greatest sting of injustice that the civilized world has ever known has root in the sociopathic behavior, actions, and deeds of unconstitutionally oriented Union State Society crusader colonists. Political, social, and governmental vampirism within colorable U.S. jurisdictions is a historical and factual characteristic of the occupational Europeans. They have dominated the political and socio-economic areas of North American society by way of forced slavery, birthrights, theft, and legal chicanery. To deny this reality is to deny truth, and to promote color in government and color of law. To deny this reality is to deny truth, and to promote color in government and color of law. It is important for those who love justice and right law, government, to look for and to study ways and means of reclaiming one's birthrights. Mass-scale application of the same are necessary. Often, freedom-loving people will see the Uniform Commercial Codes, copyrights, sovereignty declarations, and the like to address these corruption issues. Many are aware of the fact that U.S. politicians have been using the birth certificates, licenses, marriage certificates, social security cards, and other states' issued documents, etc., for deeds, bonds, stocks, and lien claims. These conspired acts are an aside from the fact that states' politicians and government officials also list and file natural people as corporate property of the state by way of the nom de guerre and capitalized printing of natural people's names, placing them upon documents under their issuance and control. So, if they did that, if they did all that with those instruments, which means that these instruments been going through these people's hands back and forth forever. Right? Even after people transition, these things are still moving. Right? How are you part of that? How are you part of that? Unless they threat, duress, and coerced you to be that. It is important for those who love justice and right law government to look for and to study ways and means of reclaiming one's birthrights. Often, freedom-loving people will see the Uniform Commercial Codes, copyrights, sovereignty declarations, and the like to address these corruption issues. Many are aware of the fact that U.S. politicians have been using the birth certificates, licenses, marriage certificates, social security cards, and other states' issued documents, etc., for deeds, bonds, stocks, and liens claims. These conspired acts are an aside from the fact that the state's politicians and government officials also list and file natural people as the corporate property of the state by way of the nom de guerre and capitalized printing of natural people's names, placing them upon documents under their issuance and control. And so, by self-defense necessity, many people issue public declaratory documents and affidavits according to their true status and correct political allegiances, in contradistinction with the de facto North American society. So you, as being in the mind of Negro, black, colored, coming into this information, you get into this information, and now you're on the defensive, right? Because they had it all with you not having the knowledge of what's going on. They had it all. But self-defense isn't a negative. So out of self-defense necessity of realizing that the fraud's going on and then wanting to step away from it is where all these Europeans go with the UCCs and doing all the other stuff like that. That's what they would do to free themselves from whatever's going on. What we would do is declare our nationality. And once we declare our nationality, we make a public declaratory document which lets them know exactly what's up. And we had Drew Ali telling us that it's in our best order that we do that. Right? know the truth about our nationality and our birthrights. Moorish Americans are declaring their name and nationality, proper person and birthright status. Other civics, conscious and proper government active natural persons have and do use a multiplicity of legal defenses to limit the usurpations made upon them by the extortion-oriented and colored jurisdictions. Some of the natural citizens of the land and some of the juristic citizens of the United States have gone through various methods of quote-unquote claiming the straw man fictional corporate person, which the states' governments, their quasi-government agencies, and the opportunistic politicians have created through these fraud-based and misrepresented documents to amass wealth for themselves and the state's coffers, keeping in mind that through these artificial corporate persons' documents, the vampires claim power of attorney over the natural person. You, and without your mutual or conscious agreement or knowledge, the corporate state officers and employees then use the colored documents as negotiable securities of all types. It is upon the evidence of the straw man and power of attorney by wardship that they make their spurious arguments and propositions in their unsanctioning colorable courts, etc. So power of attorney is for wardship. Power of attorney is for wardship. So when people say they're going to put you on to this information, and then you go through the documents that they're giving you, that they're selling you 1,500, 5,000, 10,000, whatever, there's always going to be a power of attorney in there. Because they know in your ignorance, you're going to sign over the right to them. Now, if you paid $5,000 for that, that's not inalienable rights now. That's not you declared your nationality now. It now becomes void. All that paperwork that you did and cards that you got are useless. Because what you really did was paid for a power of attorney. The majority of these people who are playing this game, they're going to be talking about they're some attorney general or they're some law, something or the other. When they're putting you in wardship. So they're taking you out of the fraudulent jurisdiction and then putting you in their fraudulent jurisdiction, but you're still in wardship. Because 80% of the people can't get a hold of these people when something goes down or whatever. That's only going down because they thought that they were buying some paper that was going to get them out of some situation. Which just doesn't work like that. Sorry, good try. But this doesn't work like that. This is about getting yourself out of wardship. And getting yourself in a solid footing. You're in quicksand right now and you don't realize it. These court proceedings are often done without the natural person to whom they are deceptively referring by straw, being present, as they have already assumed by fraud to claim power of attorney, and thus a prima facie possession of jurisdiction over personam, subject matter, and territory. So they're always, whoever it is, they're going to pretend that you're not there, even if you're there. So you have to be in your proper person so that the record could show that you are there. in your proper person. And if you are there relative to that all capital letters name, you're there in special appearance under X relation. And there's no connection to me and that. All I have is information regarding that. Securities are evidences of debts or property. Thus, they are evidences of obligations to pay money or of rights to participate in earnings and distribution of a corporate trust and of other property. So what they have you thinking is that these foreigners have a trust and then they're taking your stuff and putting it in their trust, and now they have it and you don't have access to it. So you have to authenticate the birth certificate, which is going to open the door for you to be able to make a claim on your stuff that they stole that was really yours, that came from them. So it's not really yours, it came from them. And then you get caught up in this thing. 20 years you're doing papers and nothing getting done. Because as natural people, that's not your process. Strongman BS has nothing to do with you. Birth certificates have nothing to do with you. You're a Moor. You're Aboriginal and indigenous to the land. You didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on you. Been here. So certain things don't apply. The only reason they apply is under color. The only reason they apply is under assumed jurisdiction. The only way they apply is by through conspiracy and messing with the language and erasing words from the dictionary so people have no reference points when they go look something up in a 10th edition. And so anything in that realm of that live birth, free man on the land, secured party creditor, anything in that realm, be absolutely, positively confirmed that eventually you're going to realize that this stuff is some BS. I shouldn't even been wasting my time. Right? Of course we're using it. We're not using it for some BS like yourself. We're using the thing to do some good with it. What you mean? Why not use it? Why not use it? You know, people woke up from active Moors just going live. Please. You're trying again? You want to be famous so bad. You want to be famous. Go to sleep or something. Duh. Instagram is their stuff. Facebook is their stuff. The bank card I have is their stuff. The computer I'm using is their stuff. The building that I'm renting is their stuff. The building that the temple's renting is their stuff. Where I get the groceries is their stuff. Where I get, majority of the stuff is their stuff. So what's your point though? Like what's your point? Aren't they the occupier? It ain't like they're not providing a service. I can go in their stuff and get my vegan whatever I want to get. Whether it's get seeds to go plant or whether it's their stuff. I got to get the soil. I'm going to go to these people. I'm going to my own. My own ain't got no soil manufacturer. bagging up soil, selling it. Stop the BS. You know where our people are at. You know where bottom barrel. Stop the dumb stuff. Unless we're a basketball player or entertainer, right? That's all we got. They're not promoting anything else from our people. They're not promoting us doing anything miraculous. They're not promoting us in science and technology. They're promoting us doing nigger stuff. Why? Because they're going to put that energy out, and then the people are going to be receptive to it because it's their God, the European, who's telling them. And then Moors are out here getting kidnapped and all that. All types of madness happening to Moors. Think people are looking at what Moors are trying to put them onto? You know what we're saying? They want their entertainer, whoever. That's like the Moor said one day, my son see me in a scully and he was looking at me funny, like, what? Why you got that on? Why are you wearing that? You're not a black guy. Right? Stop it. Stop beaking and do something. How about do something? You know what I mean? This is what we're doing. You're in our chat right now. What you mean? You're in our chat complaining about, oh, you're not doing anything. You're just... We know it's hard for y'all. We know it's hard, you know, because there's just so many options. Like Baskin and Robbins for Moors, newly awakened Moors. They're sitting there at the window just drooling. You don't even know which one to get. You just every flavor, just, oh my God, it looks so good. Ah. Oh my God, give me. Oh, and you guys got the cone with the coconut sprinkles on. Oh my God, so good. Oh. And then really all those flavors are shit with sprinkles. All of them. Because what you're supposed to do is to go learn how to make your own ice cream. And you go into these people. Then you're mad. It didn't taste the way it's supposed to. That, well, maybe you should have made it your damn self. You wouldn't be complaining. This is what people want to do, complain. Right? Because they know they can't fix the problems that we're facing. So opposed to get with people who are trying to fix the problems so that, you know, maybe putting our minds together, the problem could fix. They're going to stand back and point fingers at people and say who's not doing what. And these people are domestic terrorists, don't listen to them. But then people have transvestite flag cartoons up and you're not running up and strangling people. That's your children they're taking. That's your children they're playing with. You know, a Moor promotes One Piece, where they have trannies in there. Good job, Moor. Good job. A Moor promotes put Cujo's head on a chicken and put me with a butcher knife chasing the chicken with Cujo's head on it on a t-shirt, and I walk around town with that. And I'm cool. I'm cool because I'm a homo. I'm cool because I'm a homo. dyeing my locks and stuff like that. Probably went to jail, got molested and all that stuff. 18 years in there, I know they made you pick up some soap. If you were in there like that. I know you're a soap pick-upper. But doesn't excuse you. Doesn't excuse you. Don't get mad. Don't get mad with me because your cellmate did whatever to you. Don't get mad with me. I didn't do anything to you in there. You're mad at your cellmate. I know it's probably hard talking about it. You know, if you have to cry, it's okay. But people have to stop the BS. Just stop the BS. It's like I said earlier, you know, we buried many dirty Moors. Many dirty Moors disappeared. Disappeared. Changed their name, did whatever they had to do. But they weren't getting any play if they were in the Canaanland Moors rotation. They were getting no play. Running to YouTube to go snitch to YouTube that we use their videos, make them look like a dumbass. Big mad. Snitch to the white man on their brothers who just made some videos against them because we realize they're playing games with the people, robbing the people. Big mad. You know, many tried. Many also came back later and said, you know what, sorry man, we were wrong the whole time we were wrong. Honors to you and Canaanland Moors. There's Moors that came around too. But there's certain ones that, you know, they just get worse and worse. I guess they're picking up the slack for the other ones that fell off. You're probably picking up the slack for the ones that fell off. But you better know. Islam mothers, I am reaching out to you to briefly say a few words from a humble son who endeavors to be noble to the cause of serving mother in whatever capacity. I am your servant. I first would like to say it is the most distressing to see mothers being steered to division with her sisters by an alternate energy. This activity is not new, and I have unfortunately had to watch it happen repeatedly and step aside as mother could not hear my words. Almost all mothers, and some who are simply standing by, have been divided against each other by alternate energies. Many mothers are aware of this, however, will not speak. Mothers are constantly being pulled, almost sometimes into the fray, with the intent to do the dirty work of disingenuous energies, and must learn to refuse to injure their sisters, especially in a public venue. This is where many of you find yourself unbeknownst to you. There are simple lessons that mothers must learn as told to me by a noble elder mother. 1. If there is a mother in the mix, go to her. 2. Never take sides against your sisters. 3. Know that this uplifting of fallen humanity is about uplifting mother, which you will learn is the last thing many sons really want to happen, hence it has not. 4. This will only be resolved when mothers come together, as it is you who created the fall to begin with. With that said, I say please be careful, as there are many untoward energies around you, mothers, that is not in harmony with us, which is what Noble Drew Ali brought and was murdered for. Consider or reflect on why there are those who are advising mothers to recreate a process that is already in place, thereby a waste of your energy. Ask yourself why you are not united with elder mothers who have been active in this activity of uplifting fallen humanity for years. Ask yourself, why are the mothers who are active talked about negatively as if they are taking advantage of people, while known sons who are in fact taking advantage of people no one talks about? Ask yourself, if this is truly about lineal descent, bloodline and heritage, why are the mothers and their babies being encouraged to take a commercial route by sons, which goes against Noble Drew Ali's directive that there is no need for the 14th and 15th Amendment for the salvation of my people? This is the uniting of Asia and the uplifting and awakening of her, mother. So why are mothers being attacked? Mothers, you do not know who you have around you, and this may well be detrimental to you, as it has been to other mothers who were also moved away from the protection of group sisters. I say these things for you with the hope that you have the eyes to see and the ears to hear, void of division, based on personal observation, trusting that you will embrace your sisterhood so that fallen humanity can be lifted up. Assalamu alaikum. Suleiman Bey, servant of Mother. Islam. To Brother Suleiman. Peace and love to all the Moors. Honors to all the Moors worldwide. Honors to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Honors to all the Moors. All the Moors. Honors to all the Moors worldwide. Study, 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 Moors. Show yourself approved to yourself. Islam.
I won't back off, lay away like I knew the jewelers. Jewelers are carpenters and carvers, varnish, finish. so you know the shine won't diminish. While rappers spending G's on gold that could be for fools, my chest glisten like the sun off pools from my jewels. Argon energy, pendant protection jewels, enhance my life with spiritual tools. Opening chakras with crystals wrapped in copper, using the force of quartz, put brakes on a copper. Microcrystalline jade, metamorphic rock pieces, put a shame to diamond crusted Jesus headpieces. Obsidian and opal, leopard skin, jasper on a string, tiger eye, green tourmaline ring. It looks like the star's essence when I bling. Change negative to positive like colors on the moon ring. No gold, I hold black beads, no ice. I'm looking like Africa, Bam, X-Clan, and Just Ice. Rapid varnish pendant, Moorish monk chest, filled with crystal stones, Merlin treasure chest, clearing my aura as I come before you. Rappers see me with no eyes and think I'm a pauper. Rob a rapper of his Gucci link pendant self-portrait. Pawn souls to the devil cause they made themselves corporate. New jewelry gets attention like passing next morning. Keep new jewelry as wood, no matter what you call it. As I jump off my mind's cliff into subconscious depths, knowing my higher and knowing my lower self, falling past my thoughts that got me in trouble, realizing ego is a burstable bubble, falling backwards seems like there's no end or bottom, cut out the good, I see no thoughts rotten, no modern European's mentality, all Asiatic, the scent of this fall, aromatic. Tea tree oil and frankincense so intense. Demons beaten from outside make no indents. Plus no entrance without the mastermind key. Thoughts of Allah wasn't a lie, but actually me, divine being, a national, actual, factual, more scientist, seeing things mathematical. Law is length, angle, and width. With mind strength, mangle a Sith. When devil's horns burning, sulfur a whiff. Lower self, third eyes crushed, that's the weed in my split. From these lows, the only way to uplift. 40 days and 40 nights working the graveyard shift. Battling zombies, which are my own that exist. Playing my emotions and string strum or Congo drums. Seeing things and hearing sounds, no fear around. Looking down, not seeing the ground, but feeling my crown. Pulsating so profound, soul unbound. Inhale for 7, hold for 4. Exhale for 7, hold for 4. Double door 11, walk through the gateway frame of eternal flames. No burns, no regard, unreal is unreal, no blame. My pure freedom and bliss, demigods trying to contain. On my journey of learning fear, embracing pain. Since love heals on the path of living cognizance, patience is a virtue, I'd rather take the long distance. Aware mental clearness, mind's tailless with fierceness. Harlots seduced to get me locks and beardless. Electromagnetic helix, induce the voltage. Begging ancestors to increase the dosage, produce a strong feel, rubbing together shaman stone balls, releasing the stress, calling Orishas, decreasing my breath. But are you really breathing? Knowing or believing? I master fruition and receiving from birthright retrieving. Are you in trance without doing a ritual dance? Paralysis, magic, reversal on the square stance. Harmonic lyrical mudra from Islam Sutra. Elevate thoughts, wake up your inner Sibyls and Buddhas. Master your will, not desires. Awaken Kundalini fires. True spoken to MCs higher. Medusa, you liars. Bagging heads and horns and tails for mystic functions. Ritualistic. Perched at the junction where demons go to and fro, dressed as the sheeple, selling them rights, civil and pseudo rights equal. Blood flowing past a horse brow, didn't circle your passion. Celestial thread of my ancestors, tailored my fashions. Fooling people with their words and people not watching their actions. Ignorance of law is no excuse when something happens. Feeling eyes and reading postures, moving bionic. Monsanto seeds turn you psychopharmaceutical chronic. Got their eyes bloody. Blood money for blood money. They gave me nothing, so can't take nothing from me. I love the quote, you will respect, but don't have to love me. They gave me nothing, so can't take nothing from me. Watch for democracies, hypocrisy, philosophies, fear and shock factories, pseudo-pop mockeries and poppy fields, blocking swinging chops without Moroccan shields, industry demonic, throw person spokes and stopping wheels, coffin fields empty, buried in the battlefields, working on the streets is walking in some cattle fields. King Alfred Gruesome, lover mental snoozing, sleepwalking and talking, cell phones are soothing, minds disappearing, genetic memory erasing, don't even have a job but they get you for tax evasion, hot like a frying pan, crying fam lying men, use gadgets fire men, no loyalty just buying friends, no credit debt slaves, walking over paved graves, enslaved, enraged, marriage to death prearranged, Mike Sufi Genie, bomb tracks bikini, stupid niggas call my fez bucket hat when they see me, but won't ask a thing or drink the water that I bring. But when the Pope comes, they kissing on the ring. They rather drink a rapper's flow from the black fountain. Piper got the dead lined up in the thousands. Confusion with illusions, infusion with sorcery. Won't give up my birthright no matter what they offer me. No deal. Push the red button, I'm going home. Close my eyes, meet Yasanel and Vendome. The fire that we burn home, make their walls shake. Islamism grand chic, not spelled like shake. Open minds, not scarred on when you enter my zone. I wouldn't call it murder when I snap the neck of my clone, trying to escape with the Moorish temple charter. Peter's face the tartar, no making me a martyr. Third eye enlarger, aura is my armor. When I plant a seed in my soil, rhyme farmer. Use the almanac, sorta like an almanac. Keep listening to sleepless hip-hop insomniac. Moorish MC, call me that acquiesce, don't call back, just fall back. Any rapper after 95, all whack. Their flow just trickles like drops on icicles. Rappers need training wheels on their rhymesicles. Keep people's mind pickled in a lost realm. When it comes to Moorish MCs, I'm at the helm. Invasion. Trying to escape with the Moorish temple charter. Peter's face the tartar, no making me a martyr. Third eye enlarger, aura is my armor. Aura is my armor. Aura is my armor. Invasion. Trying to escape with the Moorish temple charter. Peter's face the tartar, no making me a martyr. Third eye enlarger, aura is my armor. Aura is my armor. Aura is my armor. Aura is my armor. Invasion. Northgate, H2O flow, Chic, Canaanland, Moor, Venice Fall, Shalon Davis, salute, hot house,
check it. They say they wanna learn, they only debate. Referencing the truth, trust me, they only sound great. Study nationality before you question my estate. I'm not a minority, why you so late? Majority rules, here comes the test. Fact, that's my hand in the form of a V on the chest. That's a womb that is blessed like a moon and a crest. Major forever, infinite mindset. Major from birth, that's a seed in process. I'm a Moor that is easy to digest. Competent, never terrenilious. That is my land, never vacant. Sacred traditions, petitions for what you're not Jamaican. Westmoreland to Portmore, everybody needs more. If you please more, following the apostle, we should read more. I see the unseen more, we more. That's a fact. Canaanland.
They say they wanna learn, complain classes are too long. Don't want it on a phone call, energy too strong. Get it from the wrong source, now they way off course.
Northgate. H2O flow. Sheik, Canaanland, Moor. Bernice Fall. Shalon Davis. Salute. Hot house. Check it. They say they wanna learn, they only debate. Referencing the truth, trust me, they only sound great. Study nationality before you question my estate. I'm not a minority, why you so late? Majority rules, here comes the test. Fact, that's my hand in the form of a V on the chest. That's a womb that is blessed like a moon and a crest. Major forever, infinite mindset. Major from birth, that's a seed in process. I'm a Moor that is easy to digest. Competent, never terrenilious. That is my land, never vacant. Sacred traditions, petitions for what you're not Jamaican. Westmoreland to Portmore, everybody needs more. If you please more, following the apostle, we should read more. I see the unseen more, we more. That's a fact. Canaanland.
They say they wanna learn, complain classes are too long. Don't want it on a phone call, energy too strong. Get it from the wrong source, now they way off course. Think they must be Muslim and give up on all sports. Should give up the red meat, must give up on all porks. Won't be yelling haram when the bottles are uncorked. Eating with the spoon, use forks for tuning. Eating humble pie, no ego ballooning. Samson 2 caterpillars, got him cocooning. As the full moon hung, spiral energy moving. Up through the crown chakra, energy shooting. And told me upload classes before live YouTubing. 16,000 subscribers, 20% consuming. 80% troll pretending to be tuned in. Comment on every video, pushing the thumbs down. We'll push the link when we're live just like a clown. Pouring in the incompetence, always debating. Dissing Drew Ali but won't give their location. His image on the black banner, that's placation. Just get him out of here, Yusuf yells in frustration. We know they're playing games, we're not berating. Calling 911, scimitars penetrating. In defense of prophets and mothers abused. And newly awakened Moors, amused and confused.
Not too much.
They put out this whole globalist.
Lucid Chart makes intelligent diagramming easy and helps your best ideas become real.
Something long ago, just to keep us trapped, try to keep us trapped into our disillusion.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's all they're doing. They are parasites, they are vampires, and they are harvesting our energy. And it's time to say enough is enough. We're not going to take your medications. We're not going to be locked down. We're going to be free. We were born free, and we will remain free forever. And that's my message to the Jesuit Pope and all of his demon followers. who are following orders from him. He's a pimp, he's a degenerate, and he's a son of a... Pope Francis's mother was and is a...
Wow.
Because he's a son of a...
Wow.
He going hard.
No holds bars with you, my friend.
Not at all. His mother was she was a puta. That's what you say in Spanish. Hijo de puta.
Italiano too, putana.
Hijo de puta.
In Italian is putana, right? Putana.
That's Spanish.
Oh, that's Spanish, yeah. So it feels like this entire label, which we know is just a big lie, this whole thing for the last 2 years, really, is it fair to say, Santos, before you go, that this never would have happened if we would have been just more awake and knew where we were? And this, so their ploy so far has played out. They were able to pull off this COVID thing because we've been programmed for so long. Right?
People were just unaware.
Yeah.
Yep, they did a mud flood. They did some plagues. They did it to the Chinese with opium. They did it to the Australians. They did it to the American Indians with smallpox.
Yeah.
They just go into a country, plague the whole
What's that? What's American Indian? What's that? This is you guys scholar? Santos? This is the guy you guys repping for? Calling people... This is who you guys repping for? These colorable language people? You got Noble Drew Ali told all you Moors you're on Negro, black, colored since the 20s. People still playing black Indians? Black Americans and all that? American Indian? These people are your scholar. This is who you're repping? Well, I heard Taj say his name in a lecture one time. So we're going to go with what he says. He called people black. He called people to fiction. Why? Because why? Why they call it? Because they want to be free forever. Is Australia a continent or a country? Is Australia a continent or a country? And do people come from continents? Let me just put that out there. I don't know what they're claiming, because the Aboriginal indigenous people over there, they have a name. And that place is called something, and I bet you it's not no damn stuff that they're claiming that they want to be free forever in. But call you black. Everybody's going to be free, but those people over there, those black people over there, you know, there are brothers and all that stuff, because the black people were the first this and that, and the black this and that. Right? We're riding with Drew Ali. Nothing personal. Don't get mad. But we're riding with Drew Ali. That's who we're riding with. Because a lot of these people, they're all about stealing your birthright. They don't care about you if they're going to call you black. And we're talking about the conscious people. These are the conscious people right here. These aren't the dummies. This is Dane Calloway, Santos, One Radio, New Work, Patrick Tampone, and all that. But why are they playing the black stuff? Why tell the people who they are?
out and then take over their buildings. New York was already there for thousands of years. San Francisco was there for thousands of years. Los Angeles was there for thousands of years. They were built by the indigenous people who were black and Indians as well.
No, they were black and Indians? Hold on a second. They were black and Indians? This is the guy you guys are repping for? This is the guy people are putting on their platform. They're dropping the truth on the people and all that. These people? Calling people black and Indian? If any one of you out there think you're Indian, I highly suggest that you go get Los Indios and listen to a Native American tell you who they are. Right? Go get at Ricardo. Get at him. Don't talk BS to Moors. Go get at Ricardo. Remember we told you go get at Ricardo. The Native American War Manual. What chapter is it? Chapter 25. Chapter 25 in the War Manual. Right? What is Latino? The word Latino is used loosely today by many. Most of the people who claim to be Latinos are actually Native Americans, but they have lost the connection to their native roots due to colonialism, ethnic cleansing, and displacement. But what is a Latino? The word Latin derives from Latinus or Latini, which mean descendants of Latium. Latium is a mountain in Europe, Italy, to be specific. Therefore, real Latins are from Italy. They are an Italic tribe. The Latins lived right by the Roman Empire, and as a result, they were conquered and colonized by the Romans. However, the Latins managed to save some of their language. In fact, most European languages today come from the Latin tongue. The Latin tongue was developed using the ancient language known as Sanskrit as a platform. Today, Latin is considered a dead language, even though most European languages, including Spanish, French, Portuguese, and of course Italian, derive from it. This is what this is what Ricardo is telling you. So, oh yeah. Although Europeans were very displeased by the Moors' arrival, especially the rise of the Moorish empires in Europe, the Europeans benefited greatly by the Moors' highly advanced science, mathematics, astronomy, art, and culture. However, like the Romans, the Moors began to wage war against each other. However, like the Romans, the Moors, because they're acting like Romans, same thing Joe Ali told these Moors in the 20s, give back Christianity and all that stuff. You have your own. What do you need this European stuff for? If you want European grand cheeks, I give them to you. But what do you need that for when you got all these people around here? Moors began to wage war against each other. Many European Christians waged war against the Muslims attempting to throw them out of Christian territory, which eventually led to a decrease in the Moors' population and power. The Moors' power. Because Moors started beefing with themselves. And once they start beefing with themselves, then here comes whoever's there to pick up the scraps. And then subjugate you and have you in a dead status. And then you're thinking today that people are in your benefit when they're calling you by the dead status, like Santos. telling you that you're black Indians. Oh yeah? Oh yeah?
Then they come back here and sign the rights of indigenous people for these people to declare their nationality, because the international community has been addressing this since 1948. Problem that you have is that you have fake scholars who keep getting paid off, that keep promoting these people as crayons, knowing that that makes them non-descendable. Right next to them with the Moorish flag big as day. Then they come back here and sign the rights of indigenous people for these people to declare their nationality, because the international community has been addressing this since 1948. Problem that you have is that you have fake scholars who keep getting paid off, that keep promoting these people as crayons, knowing that that makes them non-descendable. Whether it was black, green, purple.
Scholars. Give me a fake scholar.
Anybody that continues to call these people of Moorish Asiatic descent black, knowing it makes them non-descendable. We're talking about a political issue of estate and birthright.
Is Dr. John Henry Clark one of those?
Right next to him with the Moorish flag big as day. Then they come back here and sign the rights of indigenous people for these people to declare their nationality, because the international community has been addressing this since 1948. Problem that you have is that you have fake scholars who keep getting paid off, that keep promoting these people as crayons, knowing that that makes them non-descendable. Whether it was black, green, purple.
Scholars. Give me a fake scholar.
Anybody that continues to call these people of Moorish Asiatic descent black, problem that you have is that you have fake scholars who keep getting paid off, that keep promoting these people as crayons, knowing that that makes them non-descendable. Problem that you have is that you have fake scholars who keep getting paid off, that keep promoting these people as crayons, knowing that that makes them non-descendable. Whether it was black, green, purple.
Scholars. Give me a fake scholar.
Anybody that continues to call these people of Moorish Asiatic descent black, whether it was black, green, purple.
Scholars. Give me a fake scholar.
Anybody that continues to call these people of Moorish Asiatic descent black, whether it was black, green, purple.
Scholars. Give me a fake scholar.
Anybody that continues to call these people of Moorish Asiatic descent black, knowing it makes them non-descendable. We're talking about a political issue of estate and
Why does the seer always call Moors black? I don't know. You might call Europeans white sometime. But, you know, that's the Duke. Duke been putting his work. Can't tell the Duke damn nothing. Just don't watch then. If you don't want to hear yourself get called black. Right? Any. Right? Oh no, that's not. We don't do those ones. All you needed was that clip right there. Anybody call you black. You don't need to hear anything else that he says. Digest that first. That's why we just played that part. Because we're not going to play this for 20 minutes, because you're going to be lost in 20 minutes. You're going to be all over the place. Don't even know where you are when we turn this thing off in 20 minutes. Because you strayed away from the whole point. The whole point that we're talking about, remember, don't get caught up that we're talking about Santos, who's these guys' guy, calling you black. And we're showing you that the Moor's been telling you that calling you black makes you non-descendable. So why would you call yourself black? And why would you let somebody else call you black? And then, why are these people even calling you black? They don't know who you are. You think they don't know who you are? You think these people really didn't read Nature Knows No Color Line? You really think that anybody who says that they're a scholar didn't read Nature Knows No Color Line? Get the hell out of here. You people are sellouts if you're playing this black Indian BS. You're a sellout if you're playing the black Indian BS, and if you're riding with people who are playing the black Indian BS, you're a sellout too. Moor, the race, as it occurs in European heraldry, always means Negro. So if Moor always means Negro, and then Negro is Spanish for black, and these people are calling themselves black, doesn't that mean that they're Moors? So if these people are Moors, why are you calling them black? Why are you calling them Negro? And then, again, why are you letting them call you black and all that stuff, BIPOC and all that, when you're a Moor? Moor's head, says Berry, is the heraldic term for the head of a black or a Negro man. Okay, so there's a head that represents the black and the Negro people. There's a head that represents that. And the head is not called the Negro head or the black head or the African head. It's not, how come it's not called that? How come it's called the Moor head? Why do they call it the Negro head? How come they don't have a head that looks like a brother that's called a Negro head? Why do they have a Moor head, and then the Moor head means we're talking about black people? Doesn't the Moor head mean that they're talking about Moors? Abbott says, Moor's head, the head of a Negro. Why did they say head of a Moor if it's called a Moor's head? If it's called a Moor's head, you're not going to say elephant tusks and then say giraffe. What are you talking about? We're talking about Moors here. Why are you making up a new name to call these people? What is the purpose of this? Make you non-descendable. That's why we just played that part. Because if it's 100 years later and people are still calling themselves black, it's been too advanced for them. We have to hit the brakes with these people because they're clearly not getting it. Because the first time we heard somebody like Taj, Raz, Hakeem, Asir, Alim, first time you heard them, you got it. You haven't think about anything. You got it immediately. Immediately, you realize, oh, that's what's up. Oh, and then you study the suit. Now you got 500 of those. You got 500 Alims, Taj, Asirs, whatever. And 99% of them are frauds. Edmund says similarly, and this definition is etymologically correct. The Greeks, as was said, used moros to mean black or dark, and the Romans used it for negros. Woolly hair like a Moor's, says Marshall. To Claudian, Moors, Ethiopians, and Negricians, that is Negroes, were one and the same. He speaks of the Moors who dwell beside the waters of Gur, most famous of the rivers of Ethiopia, that overflows its banks as if it had been another Nile. The Gur referred to here is the Niger or Niger. And Joali told you about rivers and stuff. Right? Did he tell you about rivers? and stuff having black water in it. And the gur is Niger. Sir William Smith says the Moors were known in the Alexandrian dialect as blacks, and that the Moors must not be considered a different race from the Numidians. I thought they said Moors are pale Arabs and all that. Atger says that the Greeks, Romans, and Gauls, the Moors, to the Greeks, Romans, and Gauls, the Moors were known as the black people. The black people. You're the black people. You think they don't know that the black people are Moors? You think because they say, oh, the black guy, that in their mind it's black guy. No, in their mind it's Moor, because they already know what's up. It's the dummies who are unconscious Moors that don't know. He adds, the word Mauritania, inhabited by black populations, and was later called Negrita, or Negroland. Moor, therefore, was the equivalent of Negro. The word Moor signifies a primitive black population. Since, therefore, the Roman invaded Britain, France, Belgium, Germany, and other parts of Europe, they undoubtedly took the word Moor, meaning a black people, with them. In fact, so common was the use of Moor for Negroes that it is astonishing to find some writers calling Moors a white race. And then you could just go on YouTube and look up all the idiots up there who's putting out their little propaganda that the Moors are white people and all this foolishness. And anybody who has sense knows that white's not a skin complexion of people. It's impossible that there's white people. That's just what it is. Don't get mad. Use your common sense. Don't get mad at Moors, because we're challenging your beliefs that you think are the reality. What you have is not the reality. We know the people are living a fiction. That's why they can't get out of it, because they don't even know what they're facing. That's why they're in the BS, because they're not getting the truth. They're getting the fiction. Right? So common was the use of the word Moor for Negroes that it is astonishing. You look up astonishing. It's astonishing. Right? To find some writers calling Moors a white race. It's real. Right? Don't let them play games with you, because they're going to play games with you. Don't forget rvbaypublications.com. Read RV Bay every day. Every day, just go on there, read something. $5 minutes, that's all. Just take 5 minutes, go on there every day. Just go, just push something. A truth regarding Moors, Mexicans. El Yanga. Around 17 Around 1570, Yanga led a band of slaves in escaping to the highlands near Veracruz, Mexico. They built a small Maroon settlement, or palenque. Its isolation helped protect it for more than 30 years. The Spaniards never had a conclusive or definitive victory of these Moors, with the intelligence of El Yanga leading on. El Yanga and the rest of the Moors eventually won their freedom and autonomy. In 1871, 5 decades after Mexican independence, Yanga was designated as a national hero of Mexico and El Primer Liberator de las Americas. This was based largely on an account by historian Vicente Riva Palacio. Much of the subsequent writing about Yanga was influenced by the works of Riva Palacio. He characterized the Maroons of San Lorenzo Arch of Labna, Yucatan, Mexico. Illustration from Views of Ancient Monuments in Central America, Chippewas and Yucatan, Frederick Catherwood. Read every day. Just go on it. Just go on it to see.
All right, peace and love. I'd like to welcome you back to Mantis Views 29. This particular video I felt needed a preface before we go rolling, because it was a lesson for me, and this is strictly for educational purposes, because the conversation and the nature of how it came about was rooted in, education or information. So I'll just paint the scenario for you before we actually started rolling. It was towards the end of the Wednesday class, and I haven't been at the class all of 2018 Gregorian calendar year. So this was my first time back for the Gregorian calendar year. And while I was going in, the brother Yaqub L was walking out, and he asked me to sign his book, which was a book that I compiled full of references on the subject of who are Moors, Asiatics, Americans. Specifically, Are You in Denial of Your Ancestry, Part 2.
Moor. This word has certainly been used in Old English, as Cotgraves gives it as the sense of French Moor, M-O-R-E. It is probably a contraction of Latin Mauritanus, a Moor. It would perhaps be more correct to say that Latin Mauritanus and Morris are extensions of M-O-R. He also connects this word with the Morion, M-O-R-I-O-N, that formed the headpiece of the medieval man-at-arms. Another English word for this root is murrey, M-U-R-R-E-Y, meaning dark red or copper colored.
I felt as though that particular information needed to be shared at that time, so I compiled it like that, and it was released in 2015 on RV Bay Publications. And, it was like a lesson for me, for a student, a studious Moor, who I recall him saying both of his parents were of Mexican lineage, which we know Mexico is still America, still, you know, there's still Moors there. We got Olmecs, Yucatan civilization, etc., Mayan, etc. So while I was signing the book, a brother who claimed to be from Nigeria came up and started asking me about my nationality or the book, and, you know, it led into nationality. And the brother who claimed to be from Nigeria tried to convince me that I was black. I'm brown. I just can't relate to being pale. I just can't. And if anybody listening does, it's not that I don't love you. It's just that I know what these words do and don't mean, which we'll, you know, lay out in this particular video. So, for the most part, when the brethren was trying to convince me that I was black, it was so unique because I just got finished signing the book for the brother Yaqub L. And the substance of it is about who we really are, you know, Moors, Americans, and the essence of the appellation Asiatic, among other things in imagery. So it was a unique moment since the brother had the book in his hand. He just was like, Miz, I got this one, you know, and he broke it down. And unfortunately, it was short, not as long as we would have liked it to be because we were at the end of class. And so I trust that, you know, the viewer enjoys this video. I had to throw in my hat for the so-called Mexican family. We know this is a Mexican, specifically with the time frame now of this whole border control thing by foreign lineal descendants of Europe, you know. So enjoy, and this is for educational purposes only.
Alright, so what you want to say?
What, you want to stand on the light? Want to get better light?
No, why not?
Because this is going to be on YouTube. You're not just speaking for yourself. You're speaking for every Nigerian too.
Wait, we're not done, right?
Alright, cool.
So what you want to say?
We're going to go to the definition of American as well.
Alright.
So what is American? Tell me when we're rolling.
We on.
We're rolling? Okay,
yeah.
Perfect. I'm Yaqub L.
My name is Uzo.
What is it?
Uzo?
Yeah. Okay, Uzo.
Yeah.
Tell me what you think American means. Tell me. No pressure.
No pressure.
Go ahead.
The name American was given to the people who have the nationality of America.
Okay.
Which are the people who live in like the 50 states, right?
Okay.
Alright, you know, which...
So before the 50 states, the people that were still on this land, what were they? What are they?
Well, before America was formed, there were Native Americans here.
Okay. Okay.
The Native Americans, I think there were different tribes.
Who came up with the term Native American? Because people where they're from, they don't call them, I'm native this, I'm this. Off the jump.
No, but those people are Native Americans. They are like indigenous.
Okay, let me tell you. People from Nigeria, they don't say I'm native Nigerian. They say I'm Nigerian. That implies I'm native to Nigeria.
Yeah, but remember Nigeria is a...
I can be a Nigerian citizen. That means I came from somewhere else and now I'm a Nigerian citizen. But if I just say I'm Nigerian, that means I'm a native here.
Hold on. First of all, I want you to understand something.
Go ahead.
The term Nigerian is a new concept.
They got Nigeria and Niger, two different countries. Somehow Niger turned a nigga and shit got ugly.
Look at this. Was born in what? Present day Nigeria around 1705. So that lets you know that Nigeria wasn't called that.
Exactly.
That's a corporate veil put on the land where Nigeria is. Now, this happened around 17, right, from the niggers, right?
The problem is we started thinking like the colonists. To know the Drew Ali started dropping that consciousness.
Okay, yeah, absolutely, you know, absolutely. It's a corporation as well. Go ahead.
Just like before America existed, there were tribes. This place was tribal land.
As everywhere was.
Everywhere, just like also in Nigeria was tribal land.
Okay.
Until it was incorporated as Nigeria. Using
when there was enough people, a lot of people to govern something under one thing.
Or, you know, using modern management systems.
Okay, not a problem. So hold on. From Noah Webster's 1828 dictionary, the word American, let's put it in its proper matrix, which is a noun. There's 8 parts of speech.
Sure enough, 8 parts of speech being nouns, pronouns, verbs, adverbs, adjectives, conjunctions, prepositions, and interjections.
So this is a noun. That means it's a person, place, or thing, right?
The word black is an adjective. It means to describe something. A black dog, a black cat. But the noun is a cat or a dog, right? So the word American, an Aboriginal or anyone of the various copper-colored natives found on this continent, or continents, because we're the only one that joins from the northern hemisphere to the central and southern hemisphere. Everybody else is in some particular part, but we're so grand that we go from the northern hemisphere to the central and southern hemisphere, right? Now hold on.
The world is yours. The world is yours. It's mine. It's mine. The world is this. It's yours.
Yeah, we're so grand that we go from the northern hemisphere to the central and southern hemisphere, right? Now hold on. By Europeans. So this is other people stating who are Americans. Yeah. Now hold on. The original application of the word, natural law, reference, Webster's 1936, 20th century, unabridged dictionary, page 53. Now hold on, right? Now, when you say he was black, the person that's holding the camera, Mantis View 29, right?
Exactly.
That's an adjective, right? So, underneath that word though, if you have an unabridged dictionary, there's a word called black a Moor. That's a compound word.
That's exactly correct. Blackamoor is a compound word, and the key lesson in this definition is that when you look in the brackets, black is lowercase, showing that it's an adjective, and then it has plus more, and the more is capitalized, showing that more is the noun and black is the adjective, right? And it correlates to any dark-skinned person.
Meaning it's two or more words together. So blackamoor means any dark-skinned person, especially a Negro.
You find some fault with this description,
Yes.
I guess.
Mr. Muhammad teaches us that Negro is a term that was applied to us during slavery by the slave master.
Do NOI call you black today? Do NOI call you black today? I thought the messenger taught them that you can't use Negro. They're still saying Negro, right? Oh, you mean black? I mean, sorry. Oh yeah, just go to Canaanland Moors, Common Sense Quickies, Jump Over Negro. Go watch that. Jump Over Negro.
So, are you a various copper-colored penny? Are you one of the shades of the various copper colors? Are you a various shade of copper? We all are.
Yeah, something like that.
No, not something like that.
Yeah.
It is that.
Yeah, something like
I don't need to guess that. We know this now.
Yeah.
You believe you speak English? No, you know you speak English.
Right.
So definition of Moor. M-O-O-R, any dark-skinned person, reference, Berry, W, Encyclopedia Britannica. Actually, no, not Britannica. I can't say that right now, but it's Heraldica. Gives to derivatives of Moors as Morand, Morel, Moroccan, Morlat, Mormad, Maurice. So, the people that were here, that you might think, oh, this is a Mexican chief or a Native American chief, that is a Moor. People that you think, oh, let's go to the dollar. A dollar is actually a coin, a silver coin to be exact, but they put this one on a gold coin. Doesn't matter. The substance still stands as valid. That's Sacagawea. You know this as a Native American woman or a Mexican woman, but she's a Moabite by birth, by lineage, by blood.
Adam and Eve don't fall too far from the apple tree. Hey, Adam and Eve
Adam and Eve don't fall too far from the apple tree. Apple tree. Adam and Eve don't fall too far from the apple tree.
All right, let me say something to you. Well, this is what you're trying to say.
What am I trying to say?
This is what
I'm saying. What I'm saying.
Because this is
Because let's keep in mind how this conversation got started.
This is what you're trying to say.
What am I?
It's a very, very simple planet. In this planet,
yes,
okay, you have different people living in different places in the world.
Different regions and different climates or whatever. Why not? Okay.
Whatever. So here,
no problem.
Hold on.
How far you want to go back?
Hold on. So
because they were all called one thing before now.
Let me finish.
Yes.
Here we live here. This is New York City.
New York City, right?
Brooklyn is Medina, the Bronx is Pelon, Manhattan is Mecca, Queens the desert, word is born. Staten and Savior's Island, why they mess with me, knowing I'ma ride dirty till I reach my destiny.
Let's put in New York City. This is where we call America, right? Now,
part of America. This is not the whole America.
Part of America.
Okay.
This is part of what we call United States of America.
And with much respect, this being a perfect opportunity to teach or give a reference, the brother said that this is what you call the United States of America. But when we look at the Institutes of American Law, enumeration 182, it says that the United States of America may be termed a corporation, and so may each of the states of the Union singly. To this class belong all municipal corporations as counties, townships, districts, cities, boroughs, and the like. So if the United States of America is a corporation, it in truth, in fact, and in American law is not the land.
All right, let's clarify. So here...
Yes. The United States of America is also Argentina, Mexico, Brazil.
I don't know if you want to say odd, but there are coins that say Estados Unidos Mexicanos, which means United States of Mexico. That's what it means. United States of Mexico.
Hold on. Don't go too far. Don't go too far.
No,
so hold on.
United States of Mexico.
Hold on.
The real name of Brazil is the United States of Brazil.
Fix the flag, my brother.
Oh, absolutely. No, I have to, because it's not just for us, it's for everybody that's going to be on YouTube.
Hold on. This is what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
It's very simple.
Okay.
Prior to the...
Let's go on time.
Hold on, prior to the mass migration.
More specific.
Europeans, like Columbus and coming here.
Okay, so 1942? I mean, 1742? 1492, I'm sorry. 1492. Before 1492?
Yeah, before then, hold on.
Okay, so
prior to that, the people who lived here mostly were what we call right now the Native Americans.
And on that note, let's visit J.A. Rogers, Sex and Race, Volume 3. On page 218, it's a very detailed statement there. And it says a dark-skinned race inhabited the United States for probably hundreds of thousands of years. It was almost wiped out by the white European, but if it is the type best adapted physically to the soil and climate, it will eventually return no matter what artificial laws or restrictions are imposed. Powerful statement. Those were Moors.
But this place was called
It doesn't matter.
Almorac.
Alright, as far as immigration, this is for the record. It is a tragedy and it shows exactly where our minds are to even think for 1 second that Mexicans or that anyone else that's coming, so-called Mexicans, are immigrants. We have the handwritten documentation that they say, I mean, you gotta read it. They know that we were already here. They know that so-called Mexicans was here. So-called, right? How does someone get to flip the script and see that you're the immigrant? Or that so-called Mexicans are the immigrant? If Moors do not get on their duty and obligation, it's no longer, I'm just going to do me over here. It's about nation. It's about family. Right? We can have differences, but we're one family. What the heck happened to that? You can't necessarily, you can't divide anymore. So if Moors don't do that here, these modern still arrogant.
No dogs, Negroes, or Mexicans. Quote, Lone Star Restaurant Association, Dallas, Texas.
They're coming back, like I said earlier, they're coming back from being booted out on all 4 corners of the earth. Their last stand is this ancestral state. Best believe it. And if you don't wake up, Moors, we're in great, great trouble. However, those who are awakened and who have come back here or been here or spent their lifetime trying to have these different classes to raise consciousness, they will be told where to do, where to go, where not to go. By the grace of the Spirit will save them.
You ain't hearing me, high power, paying me that.
Hold on, we about to pray out, bro. Yeah.
Give thanks to Mantis Views for that one. But we're not done. We're not done yet. We're not done yet. We're not done yet. Tajriq Bey of the Moors Order of the Round Table, in association with R.V. Bey Publications, answers 51 questions for the Universal Zulu Nations Aboriginal Indigenous Conference. What were you called before 1492? Contained herein are answers to the 51 questions asked of the Universal Zulu Nation in search of answers. We attended the conference in October 2008 and thought the questions were worthy of answering and published for the benefit of all who were interested. Questions and answers. Questions and answers. What were we called before 1492? Answer: the natural people who are the founders of civilization and the mothers and fathers of the human family were called Moors. M-O-O-R-S, M-U-U-R-S, M-U, M-A-U-R-E, Maurus More Moorens Moroccan Al Morocans etc. These are some of the dialectical pronunciations according to varied languages such as Moorish Latin, Middle English, Germanic, French, Greek, etc. Who is the original man and woman? The ancient Moabite Moors, the Asiatics, sometimes referred to as Mu, Lemurians, and in latter history, Canaanites/Africans. Are we all Americans? Assuming this question is directed to the dark olive Asiatic aboriginals of the land, the response is that the Moors are the true possessors of the present Moroccan Empire, which spans from Tamari, now called Africa, even across the great Atlantis, and includes northwest, central, and southwest Amexem, and the Atlantis Islands. These geographical areas are now called America, North, Central, South, and adjoining islands. Is it too hard? It's not that hard. Are we black, red, brown, yellow, or white people? And this is what has to be done with our people, because our people have lost it. Right? Keep in mind,
Black people, they weren't brought over by slaves. They are the original owners of America.
Thank you.
Black Indians as well. The black people, they weren't brought over by slaves. And Indians as well. The black people, they weren't brought over by slaves. They are the original owners of America.
Again, they're asking, are we black, brown, red, yellow, white people? No. We, Asiatics, are not black, brown, red, yellow, orange, light-skinned, black, purple, plaid, or green people, etc. The human family collectively is identified by known and known by nationalities and pedigree names, not by crayon colors. This deep sign of mental ignorance was promoted by inquisitionists to denationalize the rightful heirs and inheritors of the land, America, Al-Maroc. However, the Europeans were calling themselves red men prior to the political adaptation of the political status white men in 1854 to 63. This caste adaptation was initiated by Horace Greeley, a newspaper tycoon from New York. He influenced the transformation of the Whiggamore Whigs Party into the Republican Party during the establishment of the Knights of Columbus and Ku Klux Klan oath of 1854 to 1863 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and Chicago, Illinois, United States of North America. It must be further understood that the term free white people is a social caste appellation in jurisprudence and has nothing to do with complexion of skin. can't fight it. You can't fight it. Declare and proclaim who you are. Know thyself. Know thyself. That's all you gotta do. Know thyself. You see how these Moors know their self and they're killing this Moor in the chat right now? Killing them in the chat. Killing them. Can't even escape. Can't even escape. Right, exactly. So you ought to swing the next man's hammer. I know, you dudes are funny. You know you guys are funny. You know. I know you have memories of Bubba from the cell. You know. You know you missed them. You know you're missing it. You know you're missing it. So just let these Moors in the chat eat you for a little bit. Dinner. Just dinner. Swinging Thor's hammer as if you're Thor. Hulk can't pick that up. What are you talking about? You're swinging something. What are you swinging? What are you swinging? Well, the document that we're reading is you can just where's this thing at? You could just Google yumpu.com, yumpu.com. What were you called before 1492? RV Bay Publications. Right. Or just search up what were you called before 1492. I don't even think this is a downloadable thing. Somebody just uploaded it on something called yumpu.com. Let's see if it comes up. But it's an RV Bay pamphlet. It's probably on the website even. Just go to the website. I think it should be under readable downloads, I think. The Zulu Nation questions is probably called on there. I wasn't watching the chat really, but if you have any questions, put it in the chat. Or we're out of here. Yep, these Moors think that they're playing with Drew Ali. Drew Ali's not playing with y'all. Don't worry. You're gonna have to see him in the soul plane. Nobody lives forever. So keep playing games. Keep playing games. Nobody lives forever. You're eventually gonna have to look at the prophet. Eventually. So, you're either gonna go back to the dead state where Noble Drew Ali found you, or you're gonna get on the right side. Those are the options. Everything else is going down with the ship. Everything else going down with the ship. All right. They're cooked. Stick a fork in them. Stick a fork in them. They're cooked. Dinner's ready. Pick it up. Ding. You know, just know that it's all about Drew Ali. Nothing else matters. It's all about, did you do your best at trying to uplift our people? Because if you haven't noticed, our people's time's done. Right? If you already know, our people's time's done. Like, they're done. Our people's time's done. Like it's just done. You know, they wasted too much time. So they're gonna pay for it. However they're gonna pay for it. They're gonna pay for it. Guarantee you they're gonna pay for it. Because they're still playing games. Still playing games.
Cujo!
Hey, how come your eyes go different ways?
I'm cockeyed, bro.
You cockeyed?
Yup.
You get hit in the head or something?
Man, I done got beat all up in the head, bro.
So your head's really not good, huh?
Come on.
Shouldn't you have your glasses on?
No, I'm just chilling in my seat, you know what I'm saying? Getting a massage. You know what I'm saying?
You're just massaging yourself.
Just give me a massage, Cujo. You know what I'm saying?
You're just massaging yourself? You're just getting a massage.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, y'all funny. Y'all real funny, though.
How you getting a massage? Isn't it Ramadan? You're not supposed to be doing something?
What you mean?
You're not supposed to be doing something?
I can't eat. What you mean?
What you mean? That's it?
I ain't getting mad. I'm in my chair getting a massage.
That's it? So you just sitting in the car getting a massage by yourself?
I'm not in the car. I'm in my living room, bro.
Oh, in the living room?
Yeah, I just got the lights up.
Yeah. You got the lights up, chilling.
I'm gonna turn some. Hold up. I'm gonna turn the. I got my pad on me. Here go the flat. You see? Okay. I'm in the living room, bro. I'm in my chair.
You got the Cujo shirt on? You got the Cujo sweater on?
No, I ain't got that on right now. You want one? You want a Cujo shirt? You want a Cujo shirt? What's up? You wear it? I'll send it to you. Or you want the Taj? You want the original recipe? Or you want that Canadian jerk? NewMoorOrder.com if y'all want the Cujo special Canadian jerk, or if y'all want the original recipe, the private commercial paper.
You ever see that commercial? This is your brain on drugs.
Damn, you old. You remember that? You old, bro.
Islam to all the wars worldwide. He's in love to all the wars.
Yeah, Ramadan Mubarak, y'all.
Give a round of applause for the comic relief.
Ramadan Mubarak. We fasting.
Islam to all the wars. Honest to the Prophet, Noble Drew Ali.
Fading a little bit. It's all good. No, he's funny. He funny. Him and his audience, your little homosexual audience, bro. I didn't know Moors could go that way. But y'all don't follow the Holy Quran, so I get it.
What the? What the? What the? He got the Will Smith. Oh shit. Number one bullshit guy. Number 2 bullshit guy. Oh shit. Just stop to all the wars. I don't know what that was. When I saw the cockeye, I was like, oh shit. I was like, oh, it's actually real. I thought it was. Oh, oh my gosh. He has the super couch too. He has the recliner. Yeah, that's Clifton's boy. That's Clifton's boy. Oh my gosh. I'm just to the prophet for that laugh right. Cause oh my gosh, that was good. We just got some more hours on us right there. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we're full life. We're full life. You already know. Honors to all the Moors. All the Moors worldwide. Moors. What do you mean get you back on? You disconnected yourself. What do you want? You hang it up and then you gotta get back on. You better pay that light bill. Sell some of those shirts and pay that light bill, yo. Because you know it's girls on them. That's why, right? You just got out. You haven't paid anything. Just living and eating for free and all that. Can't go sell weed. Can't go sell crack. So now you gotta go sell t-shirts now. Now they want to sell t-shirts and hats. As if Moors aren't selling t-shirts and hats already. These uninnovative Moors. These are your guys. You know. I just gotta be online so that I can get some of his customers. It's a job, baby. It's a job. You see, I got 50 cents from YouTube because they be watching the videos. Nigga, get a job. You just eating everything. You know she's mad. That's why you're on here. Go get a job. Go get a job. Help out a little bit around the house and shit. I'm not talking about, you know, you wipe the toilet seat after you peed on it. Stop wasting your finance on McDonald's coffee and go do something in the house. Playing games, driving her car up and down the place with your boy, with your uncle, your drunk uncle. And then on Canaanland Moors talking crazy. Don't talk crazy. Don't talk crazy. Prophet's watching you. You know he's watching you, right? You know the prophet's watching you, right? He's watching everything that you do. You and Rami and all the other people. Watching all of you. Wait till you get to the gates and you have to face him. See what happens. Wait till you get to the gates. No 99 virgins for your ass. Allah Ramadan ain't helping you. You're still not getting the 99 virgins. That's all you want. That's all you want. Porn kings. Mr. Neckbone. Neckbone Bay. Have some time for you tonight. Have some time for you. Got any questions, put it in the chat. If not, we'll be out soon. Just show you. This is how they do. Class is done already. I'm just chilling now. Just chilling. Now you can push the button and get on here. No, you lost your chance. You lost your chance. Don't even know which one of your eyes to look at when I'm talking to you. I can't deal with this. I can't deal with this. You gotta put on your glasses or something. You gotta put on your glasses or something. No way. I'm not looking at those cock eyes again. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. Because if we have a childhood fear of cock eyes, you scare me. You scare me, yo. You scare me. No. Emotional damage. Too much. Oh, woo. Oh my gosh, you words are funny. We gotta find it. It has to be out here. It has to be out there. It has to be out here. Oh my gosh.
One bullshit guy. He do the wee woo because he have to go in front of the traffic. Look what I do. 22 and he do wee woo. Oh, you see this guy? See this guy? Number one bullshit guy. He do the wee woo because he have to go in front of the traffic. Look what I do. 22 and he do wee woo. Oh, you see this guy? See this guy? Number one bullshit guy. He do the wee woo because he have to go in front of the traffic. Look what I do. 22 and he do wee woo. Oh, you see this guy? See this guy? Number one bullshit guy. He do...
No. Number one bullshit guy. Oh my gosh. You more are killers. Oh. Whew. That's how mad you guys got. You guys are that mad? Holy. You guys mad. You guys big mad. Don't be mad. Don't be mad. Just get on the winning team. Stop the dumb stuff. Stop it. Stop adding the invite. Stop it. You're not going to be invited. I'm not pushing it. Stop trying. Stop trying. Number one bullshit guy. Get out of here. You're just like Santos and all the rest of these people playing games with our people. They think they know something. They think they know something. You don't know jack. They're playing you. And then here come Moors now, who they're supposed to know better, playing you too. Trying to divert your attention from where you're supposed to get this knowledge from so you could do something and save yourself. They could all get the hell out of here. Ride the mare of steel, all of you. All of you. Go ride the mare. And don't worry, it's going to be a safe trip as Ramadan, so you should be fasting anyways. Just go jump on the freaking mare of steel. Show us that you love Allah. So don't forget, Mars. We're gonna be out. We're gonna be out near Whitby, April 24th. The Moors out there. You know what I mean? Made the call. So we're on route. Any other Moors out there, even if you want to do the virtual, just hit up the Canaanland Guide at gmail.com. Canaanland Guide at gmail.com. And you can get it. Right. Oh yeah, I forgot about this one. Forgot about this one. Forgot about this one. Another one for people to know that over here is Morocco. Exodus movements. I would meet up with in the mornings with a man from China. We will have extensive conversations about whatever comes to mind. I remember I first met him. I first met the one in the pit. I asked him his nationality. He said Chinese. Then I told him Morocco. He looked at me and asked, the Morocco over there, while pointing east. Once I said no, before I could say anything else, he goes, oh, North America. I responded with yes, the empire. Since that first encounter, he's been calling me Mr. Morocco. And he also said he's never seen my color say that. Why don't they all say this? I told him some do, but then some don't know, and those that know may not care. Know thyself and know others. And all that is because of Noble Drouali. All that is because of Noble Drouali. Honest and profit. Asking the other drivers. Where's Mr. Morocco? Who? Mr. Morocco. Who? Who's Mr. Morocco? Oh my God. This one wants more of this. What the hell?
Oh, you see this guy? See this guy? Number one bullshit guy. He do the wee woo because he have to go in front of the traffic. Look what I do. 22 and he do wee woo. Oh, you see this guy? See this guy? Number one bullshit guy. He do the wee woo because he have to go in front of the traffic. Look what I do. 22 and he do wee woo.
We got so oh my God. Oh. Whew. Islam to all the Moors. Because I play this thing all night and just laugh all night. Peace and love to all. Honors to all the mothers. Honors to all the Moors. Honors to all the trolls out there. Keep trolling. We don't love you, but we don't hate you. Honors to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Honors to all Moors. Don't forget, study. RVBaypublications.com. Don't forget Los Indios by Ricardo Ignacio. Go to khalifamedia.com and just go get all my books on these books. One more.
You have to go in front of the traffic. Look what I do. 22 and he do wee woo. Oh, you see this guy? See this guy? Number one bullshit guy. He do the wee woo because he have to go in front of the traffic. Look what I do. 22 and he do wee woo.